here's what we're making today. The Magnolia Rae Traveler Pouch by Sunshine Stitches, our very own Brenna. This is a pattern that was released in February of this year. She does now have an Etsy shop where she's selling the pattern, and she's also selling the templates for it. So this I just made. You'll see it in the following video. I did a cutting out video too because she sent me a set of templates. So she has a full set of templates and a light version of the templates. You can get the templates for 10% off through June 15th. The link is in the description with the code in the description below. So they'll be available from May 29th through June 15th, I believe. Check the dates in the description below this video. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't misspeak. Very nice templates. So you get, this is a full set. You get all the templates and you get a little holder for it, which is very handy. The Magnolia Rae, named after her precious little girl who's going to be 8 weeks. Hard to believe. All right, let's get started. All right, guys. Before this, maybe yesterday you saw the cutting out video of the Magnolia Rae. So this is what we're going to sew up today. This is the Magnolia Rae Traveler Pouch by Sunshine Stitches, which is our own Brenna. So we are going to sew this up. I am going to briefly go over all the pieces in no particular order. Actually, I'll go over them as I sew them up. But this is what I'm going to make them out of. Let me get the black. The main pieces and most of the pieces is this really pretty red. Has a little texture on it. And then the gusset is going to be black. Very pretty. The lining is going to be this gorgeous waterproof canvas with the card slots being red. And then I'm using all my own black matte hardware, zipper tape, and then you need a little bit of cut and loop tape. I just ordered, you know, a roll from Amazon. It was really cheap. I don't even remember. I've had it so long. So just a little bit of cut and loop tape. There are 3 carrying options to this bag. There's a crossbody strap, there's a wristlet, and then there's the traveler pouch, which you need the cut and loop tape for to put around a bottle or a cup, you know, that type of thing. So I'm going to do all 3 in this video. I probably myself would use the crossbody the most, but I want to have it as an option in case I decide to sell this one. Someone might want to buy one that has all 3 options. All right. So the Magnolia Rae Traveler Pouch. You'll see the finished product before this segment. Let's get started. All right. So let's do the prep. So on your 4 strap-ins, you should have 4 strap-ins. If you're doing all the handles and all that, divide them down the middle and put some tape on them. So I have 4 of those. The strap, piece H, the removable connector piece. So on the short end, it's shorter and then one side is longer. So on the short end, draw a line from one short end to the other and put a piece of tape. On your D-rings, divide it down the middle, put tape on either side. On your wristlet strap, draw a line 1/2 inch and put tape on each long side. On your exterior pieces, mark your centers, and I didn't do that on this one, so let's mark our centers on all 4 sides. Long side and short side. Okay. And then I am going to put my tag on one exterior, and then I have my 2 pieces of foam that we'll put on in just a second. And then our bottom gusset, which I'm doing in black, I have some foam that I'll put on in a second, and same for the zipper panel. I'll put some foam on that, okay? So let's get to it. This is the zipper panel. And this is 1 millimeter EVA foam, just right down the center. Just gives it a little bit of body. It's really kind of nice. And then on the bottom gusset, we're gonna do the same thing. The lower gusset, I think is what she calls it. The lower gusset. Right down the center. Perfect. And then on our exteriors, this is out of your seam allowance, so she tells you these measurements. And then she gives you a template, but I have a acrylic template that I got. I don't remember where I got it. A 2.5 inch that I use to do the corners of my foam to keep it out of the seam allowance. Okay, 1. And the second one. Perfect. And then I'm gonna sew on my tag. It's red on red. Decrease my stitch length to 2.5. All right, then take your removable connector piece, take the tape off. We're gonna fold the long sides in. Then we're gonna stitch down each long side. And then do so down each long side, and then 2 rows down the center. So I'm going to do this side first, increase my stitch length. Down the other side. And then I think she tells you. Yeah, I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna use my pen here. She tells you the seam allowance from each long edge. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go down 1/8 of an inch from that line. Perfect. and get rid of that line that I drew. Okay, perfect. Next. All right, so our 2 D-rings. Take the tape off, both long sides, and fold those to the center. This ends up being a 1/2 inch, so it's not very wide. You don't want it to be any wider. I think some people have tried making wider D-rings, and you can, and it works fine. It's just, I don't think it aesthetically looks as good. So I would use this method. Okay, there's one. My tape is sticking pretty good to this, so sometimes it doesn't though, you know. Somebody said on one of my last videos, we need to have a double-sided tape DST support group. I just laughed out loud. I thought that was perfect. And it's so true. Some days are good and others are just, it doesn't want to do what you want it to, ever. Okay, let me grab my little baby D-rings. Okay. Actually, I'm going to sew down each side. Yeah. Down each side, 1/8 of an inch. Add your D-ring. Clip those together. I haven't made this in a while, so I was pretty excited to make it. Okay, so there's our 2 D-rings. Now, we could, and I think I will. I'm going to put just a little baby piece of tape on the inside just to keep them together. Totally not required. So they stay nice and even. Just a little piece. Right down the center. Okay, and we'll set those aside. All right. Next. All right, so I'm just going to do my adjustable crossbody first. So I'm taking one of my strap ends and I'm going to add it here. Okay. Then we're going to put it up and through our slide adjuster. This is just like any other strap. And then we're going to sew that on. Oops, this is the wrong piece. This is my short piece. Hold. That's okay. I'll just leave that on there. That was my tumbler strap. There we go. Up and through our slider. kind of fun with fingers today. Then we're going to sew that on, and I'm just going to do 2 rows of stitching. One here. And one here. Cut all your threads, singe your threads. Okay. Then we're going to add a swivel clasp up and through. The slider. Make sure nothing's twisted. So just like that. We're going to add our other swivel clasp and another strap end. And then we'll sew that with 2 rows of stitches as well. Let me make sure nothing's twisted. Perfect. Okay. Black thread everywhere. Okay. Singe those threads. Perfect. Now your crossbody strap is completed. We're ready to go. I love getting my strap done. I don't know about you guys, but it makes a difference. All right, so there's your strap. I'm gonna put that here. Okay. Now we're gonna do our tumbler strap. All right, so that now take your longer short piece of your webbing, add your strap ends to each side. One side's gonna have your square ring that you're gonna fold over it. We're gonna do a little box or 2 rows of stitches, whatever you prefer. I guess I'll try and do a box. Actually, I'm just going to do 2 strips of 2 lines. Okay. 2 lines of stitching or a box, whichever you prefer. On both. Let's clean that up. on your threads. I have a tiny little piece of thread here. Okay. And then on this edge, you see I have a little hangover of my strap end. I'm just going to trim that up just slightly. Probably not necessary, but it bothers me. And then I'm going to burn those ends again. Okay. Now, take this piece, and with your square ring to the left, you're going to take your hook tape, which is the rough side, and you're going to lay that with a piece of double-sided tape on the back, right next to this strap end. And we're going to sew that on. From the end of your strap end, you're going to measure up a certain distance that she tells you to in the pattern. Take your tape off your loop tape and add that right there. And we're going to sew that on all four edges. And we're going to repeat that with the loop tape. Okay, clean your threads up. Okay, let's do this other one. All right, let's clean that up. All right, so there you have your tumbler strap. Very, very easy. It's really hard for you to see it, but here's the loop, the scratchy side, it's black on black, and the loop side. So now when we put this around, it's gonna come and it's gonna connect and hold our cup on. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, set that aside. All right, so let's do our wristlet strap. So we're gonna take this long piece of tape off, and we're gonna fold it in, leaving about an inch on the end unfolded. You'll see why. This is the best way to do straps, by the way. Okay. Now I'm gonna add my clasp in here. So add your swivel clasp, just pull it down into the middle. Okay. Take a little tape And I should have probably not put it all the way to the end, but that's okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna put the two right sides together. And we're gonna sew that together. Now that I'm all sticky. About 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch, whatever you prefer. Okay. So make sure that you have your swivel clasp on. If you don't, you're gonna have to take it apart and put it on. I know, it's a bummer. Now we're gonna fold that back down. Nice and even. And I'm gonna just give it a tiny little pound there, and then we're gonna fold that other side in. This way ends up having a raw edge. Absolutely fine for this. And you'll have to manipulate your swivel clasp out of the way as you fold it in. Okay, so now you have a continuous wristlet strap. Now this seam that's right here, I am gonna just trim, I'm gonna pull this back and trim these little corners off so they don't hang out and they're not seen. I'll show you here in a second. So just like that, trim these right here so that when you fold it over, they're not showing. Perfect. Okay. Then we are going to start with our seam that's right here, about a 1/2 inch down from our swivel clasp, 1/2 inch or so, maybe a little bit more, so it gives us a little space. So just like that. So there's our swivel clasp and here's our seam. We're going to do a continuous seam. I'm going to start on the raw edge side, and I'm going to start up here. Eighth of an inch. And I'm going to pull those threads to the inside. And we're going to move our swivel as we go. So that on the outside you won't see any back stitching. Do you have to? No. Does it look nicer? Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tie them separately just so I don't have all these threads. Then we're going to pull that one to the inside, and tie that off. And we're going to repeat that, starting and stopping at about the same spot on the other long edge. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's pull that thread to the inside. Okay. And tie those off. It's a couple extra steps. I think it just makes this look nicer. Personally, not required though. And then your knots are on the inside. Okay, because, so there's no knots there. They're all on the inside. And now we're gonna pull our swivel clasp up and we're gonna put a rivet right here in the center. Make sure when you punch your hole, there's your knot going through your thread. Okay. Grab a rivet. And there you have your continuous wristlet strap. All right, take your back piece, and we already have our foam on there. You're gonna measure up from the bottom a certain distance, mark a line exactly like she tells you, measure up from this line a little more and mark a line. And she even gives you a little guide. So, and then we're gonna cut these just on these lines. Okay, I know, scary. All right. Then we are going to take our strap connector piece that we already made. Okay. And this is the wrong side. Hold on a second. All right, so this is the wrong side of my strap connector. Here's the front of my bag. You should have drawn a line on here from the bottom up, and we're gonna insert this just to that line, centered, and we're gonna stitch right below that. And we're only stitching within, this is kind of like a hidden connector. We're only stitching inside our little strap there. Don't go outside, but back stitch well at the beginning and the end. Okay. Okay, so that's what it should look like on the front, and that's what it looks like on the back. So this is secure now. Now we're going to pull this in that second bottom slit, turn it to the wrong side, and we are going to pull this just a small amount above that top slit. And if it helps, you're probably going to want to clip it. And I have these long clips, so don't worry about this bottom part right now. We've got extra that we'll pull through. But this is what we want to be just slightly above this top slit. Okay, just slightly. And then I'm going to turn it over. And we're going to stitch right above this piece right here. It's a little bit awkward. It shouldn't be too bad. You just want to make sure that you're catching this. Yeah, I may need to put my, I'm going to put my zipper foot on. So, all right, put my zipper foot on, but I also put a piece of double-sided tape here so that when I put it up here, it'll stay where I want it and not move. And now we're just going to go back over where we already stitched. Perfect. Can't even tell, and I'll show you what we did here. I got black thread everywhere. Okay. So that's what it looks like there, and that's what it looks like there. And I am going to do one more little row of stitching. Yeah. But I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to do it up here. Yeah. Okay. Right on top. Okay. Perfect. And then we're going to repeat that down here on the bottom. I had my hammer out to put my zipper foot on. Okay. It is a hidden connector, but it's not really hidden. I'm going to do one more row. Okay. Now, if you're worried about how it looks in the stitching and back stitching, then use a thread that matches, but I'm fine with that. And there's plenty of room for our strap to go in there. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to do our card slots. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. One is just from the top. They're all measured from the top. One is here, one is here, one is here, and one is here. These are the easiest card slots you'll ever do. So on the second mark, fold this wrong sides together. Excuse me. And we're gonna top stitch. Just make sure your edges are nice and even. Wrong sides together and top stitch. Okay, so that was the second line. And do the third line the same way. Wrong sides together and top stitch. There went my clip. And then the same for the fourth line. Wrong sides together. You're top stitching your card slots, basically. So easy, okay? Let's top stitch those two. Wrong sides together. Okay, and do your last one. Wrong sides together. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a minute and clean up all my threads. You probably don't need to do this because these are going to be in a seam, but you know, threads bother me. Bunch of loose threads. Okay. All right. So now what you have done is you have this first top mark. You can't see it because it's in the seam. I'm going to bring that first one up, clip it, bring the second one up, and measure down, clip it, and bring the third one up, and clip it. Okay, make sure your sides are nice and matched, and we're going to test it. So we have 1, 2, 3. Do you see how perfect that is? It's just absolutely perfect every time. The key is making sure that you're measuring from the top and not from line to line. I'm going to use these clips as opposed to those. These are easier to use. Okay, so that's what you have. So we have 3 card slots. I love it. Okay, now we are going to just baste those down each long side, and whatever you choose to go from the top up, the bottom up, top down, just do it the same. Okay. So same over here. 1/8 of an inch. So now you have your card slots. Let's test them one more time. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now, let's take our side panels. If I can find them. Let me find them. All right, so take your side panels, piece E, and from the top down, you'll have extra on the bottom of your card slots. We're gonna sew these on each side. So here's my card slots in between here. And we're gonna sew down each side at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, both sides. Then you're going to fold those over and top stitch on the side panel with that seam underneath. On both sides. All right, take your front piece, the one with your tag, and lay that on top of your card slot piece and trace around it because you want those to be the same size. And then we're going to just trim this so it ends up being the same size. Okay. So there you have your card slots. Very cute. Next. All right, take your back piece and your unsewn lining piece. Put those wrong sides together. And we're going to baste those together. And then we're going to do the same with the front piece. Okay, so that's what you have. Lining piece and your back, your card slots and your front piece. And we're going to baste those all the way around. So if there's a lot of overhang, you could trim it. I don't have hardly any. I'm not going to worry about it because we're going to bind this. Okay. Let me just clean up that a little. All right. All right, let's take our zipper gusset. So on the exterior zipper gusset, I put a piece of tape. And we're going to lay our zipper right side down on our exterior piece. Then our lining, we are going to lay, sandwich that right on top. Right side down. And we're going to sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. I don't have my zipper pulls on. All right, let's turn that wrong sides together, and we're going to top stitch along the zipper. The exact same way you would do most zipper panels. Not all, but most. Okay. Perfect. Now let's top stitch along our zipper. And then you can close the other 3 sides. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, let's put our zipper pulls on. She calls for 2. You don't have to use 2. I highly recommend that you use 2. I think it looks nice, but you don't have to. You can just use 1. If you're going to use 2, 1 goes on one way and 1 goes on the other way. So they meet in the middle. So that's what you should have. All right, take your 2 D-rings, and we're going to add these to both ends. And you're going to be what she tells you to in the pattern from your zipper. Okay, so just like that on both ends. These are your D-rings. They're facing the center. And I think she wants you to have, yeah, a little bit hanging over the end. Sorry, forgot that. These are not sewn on, by the way. These are going to be riveted on. Okay. So I am going to add some marks for my rivets. And I'm just, she gives you measurements. I'm just eyeballing it. I just want them to be the same. And I'm going to punch mine with my hole punch here. Add our ribbon. And for some reason, I have rivets that are just slightly different, so I am always making sure that I have the right the same ones on the same side. So that's what you should have. Just want them to match. Perfect. That didn't quite go through. Let me hit that again. There we go. So put those on and go press them, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so now we're going to put our lower gusset on, lining to lining, exterior to exterior, right sides together, and we're going to sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay. Okay. You're going to turn that wrong sides together and top stitch on the bottom gusset. Wrong sides together, top stitch on the bottom gusset. Okay. Then we're going to repeat that on the other side. Beautiful. Lining to lining, exterior to exterior, creating a loop. Okay, kind of scrunch it up. Okay, so just like that and that. Sew that together, turn it right side out, and top stitch. Okay, right side out. Just the cutest little thing ever. And top stitch on the bottom gusset, keeping everything else out of the way. And there you go. There's your gusset. Now we are going to just clip these together and baste them together. The bottom, the lower gusset is what she calls it. We're going to baste them along that long edge, just so it doesn't move. Okay. On both long sides. Okay, now you have a completed gusset. Zipper gusset. Next up. All right, so we need to find our centers. So put your two seams together, mark your zipper tape, and then however you mark your centers. So I just clipped a little corner on both the top and the bottom. Okay. Then we're going to take that off. We're going to find our front. I'm going to test my credit card slots one more time. I mean, you guys, they're perfect every time I've done this wallet or this bag, this pouch. Okay. So the front is here, and I'm going to turn this inside out. And the zipper is what attaches to the front. So the front center. And I am going to open my zipper. All right. And we'll just clip that on, and I'll do that on fast forward. So my zipper tape is down. All right, so I did clip my gusset just around the corners. Keep in mind you have a very narrow seam allowance, so you only want to clip your corners by half your seam allowance. So FYI. Just go slow around your curves, especially your zipper. right. Let's see how it looks. Oh my, not one little pucker, not one. Let's see how this top looks. Make sure your zipper works good. Perfect. Cute. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bind this side before I do the other side. I am gonna trim any excess just to make my seam even when I put my binding on. Corners are always the challenge, you know. Okay. Here is my bonding. I'm going to do it the way I always do it. Put it on, stretch it around. Cut it. Right sides together. And sew it together. Trim your binding. So now we have one piece of binding. This is the best method to put binding on, personally. Okay, let's add it. Didn't miss any. All right, let's do it the other side. Bottom. Find all your centers. And your side centers. right, let's turn it out. This side is so much easier. It always is when you have a zipper close. So let's turn it right side out. I think it came out really good. The Magnolia Rae Traveler. Very cute. Red and black. Can't go wrong with red and black. Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't have one, not one pucker. A miracle. How cute is this? And it zips perfectly. Oops, I gotta push that out. Push it out. Oh dear, very cute. Not one pucker. Love it. All right, so here is my crossbody strap. We'll put that on, and then we'll put the pouch holder, adjustable holder on. And I can use Thumper for that. Okay. Let me grab my, take a sip of water. So you put, let me put this down, sorry, so you can see. I'm putting this in. Easily goes in. And you attach it. So the Velcro, oops. The Velcro is down when I put it in. So the Velcro, the hook and loop tape is on this side. Okay, and then we're gonna put it on through our square ring. And this is too small. You know, those things are big. So that's how it's gonna go. I don't really have one of those things, but that's how it goes. Here, let me do this. Let me pull it a little more this way, so you can see. There we go. So you know those big cooler things, you know, that's how it goes. So it's hooked on there. Now, if you have one that has a handle, it'll stay put easily. Isn't that cute? Now, I personally would not use this, but there are plenty of people that have those cups that just want to have, you know, something to take in there, put in there. So I'm going to take that out for me for now. I will sell this and it will have one. Okay. It also has a wristlet strap. I mean, it is so cute. So here's how it works. So this is the back. That's the thing for the cup. So you've got it on yourself and it's like this. And the whole purpose is that you lean this down and you can easily access your cards without having to dig on this side. So there's my cards right there. Up to 3 cards, and actually you could fit more than that. In 2 in each slot. Cute as a bug in a rug. It doesn't need 2 zippers, 2 zipper pulls, probably not, but there it is. The Magnolia Rae Traveler Pouch. Plenty of room. Let me put my phone in there because my iPhone 14 Pro Max fits in here too. Easily. fits in there easily. Personally, the next one, I think I'm just going to put one zipper pull. You just don't need it. It's just another thing to fiddle with. Personally, just one zipper pull is all you need. There's a little hair there. A thread is what I mean. You guys, isn't that cute? So the next one, if you don't ever want to use the strap around a mug or a big cup, then don't put this on there. Just leave it plain and use your crossbody strap and or a wristlet. I mean, it is so cute. Big cell phones. It's very cute. The Magnolia Rae by Sunshine Stitches and our own Brenna. There it is. You guys, this is so cute. I haven't made one in a while. So the pattern is on Etsy. It's linked in the description below. And then the templates are available in either a light version, which will be in the description of the templates, and or a full set. So this here is a full set, what she sent here. And she sends you a little holder for them all. Very cute. Very, very cute. And look what color she sent me. Purple. Thank you, Brenna. So these open and you just put them on. I have all my templates hanging on the wall over there. The other nice thing about her templates is the holes are big. They're not tiny little holes. And the how I have them over there, I have them on large hooks, and these fit fine. But I'm gonna leave this on it, so. Oh. Okay. And you don't have to use this thing if you don't want to. I think it's nice to have. And it keeps all your templates together. I always have the challenge getting it back together. There we go. And you just screw it on. The Magnolia Rae template set. This is the full set. You get all the pieces. The only thing you don't have is your strap connector, your straps. And that's it. It comes with everything else. Your strap and this piece. But everything else is included. Nice. The Magnolia Rae by say that 10 times fast. Sunshine Stitches. And she has a website on Etsy. It's linked in the description. And if you want the templates, they will be 10% off through, I think she said June 15th, but it'll all be in the description below. All right. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give the thumbs up and like and comment, and feel free and share the video. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.